This is an Australian Living Labs Innovation Network presentation. Today we're talking with Juan Antonio Bertolin.
I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about some of the programs within your living lab, some of the sort of different themes of work.
In our case, what we try to do, as I mentioned you before, is involve the community, the university community, and also our SMEs. So we open the door to all the projects that could involve some sort of elements that the university could be the final user. So we had people that were developing robotics, telepresence robotics, using open source and languages and technologies that could be open to students to develop afterwards new features for those robotics, right? Also, a kit to detect a quick automatic test for Legionella bacteria that was developed by an SME here in the Science Park and was used in the swimming pool of the university for being tested. So the university as a client was interacting with the company in order to see how that kit could develop the final result that for the universities was very useful, because in less than 24 hours you can get the Legionella bacteria instead of the regular one that is 15 days. Right? This is another project that we were developing, or also one that we have been published into European Network of Living Labs books or booklets. Is one related to the control of the access by teachers and students to the classroom, following the Bologna, let's say, law inside of the European Commission. So now, with this system, every time that a teacher is coming to the classroom, the projector, computer, heating, lights, power, it's open. So you can use it during your classroom, and whenever you finish, you will pass your card, and everything will start to be closed. And it is a way to save energy. So we are saving a lot of energy thanks to this system. And this system was built by a company, and also different teams from the university that was the final client in that process. And now it's up and running in the university. There are like 300 points spread around the campus. And also we had another project that was in charge of measuring the humidity of the soil for the plants in order to reduce the water consumption. And we were developing an areas where the people were able to plant different plants and flowers and try to test how you can use less water in order to keep all the plants up and running, right? And well, things like that. We had others that were failing, basically because the design was not the most appropriate one, and we discovered that after the process, right? This is another. And now actually we have what we call the Ebrick house. That is a solar house that is built into the campus as well. Belongs to the Living Labs. And that house has been built by a set of students. All the students and their teachers, they build a house with the best materials to be a high efficient energy, from the energy perspective, house. And companies are providing the materials to be tested in the house. And this house now is used like a Living Labs room in order to develop technologies inside. So it's a very interesting model as well.
So that's great. So I'm wondering how you take these from the university out into, like you said, into the city or the rural area or into the world in general.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we try to use this smart campus as a showroom, right? When you are able to show the rest of the environment, the things that you can do, the rest of the people can decide, above all the local governments, can decide to implement that into their cities. We are close to Castellón, so for us, we are still, because you know that the mindset is different, is very difficult to change, and more for the politicians, that they just try to find a very easy, quick, and low-cost solutions, and sometimes it's not easy in that way. But we have been receiving several people from the local government to demonstrate them that Smart Campus is a very good place for doing that. And moreover, now we are participating in a couple of projects related to rural labs. That means the concept of living labs is translated to the rural areas, where you are involving the people that are facing troubles in the rural areas, and you try to develop solutions to involving them during the process. This is still the concept of user-driven innovation development.
And is that still with a focus on SMEs and startups in rural communities?
Yes. Indeed, we have several SMEs, as one of the I mentioned before about the testing the humidity of the soil, that are involved in this initiative that we are going to develop now new events in order to capture new requirements from the rural areas. And we have SMEs that are developing solutions for the rural zones in order to improve the control of the crops and also the control of the water consumption. That is for us is very important. And also students, because the students are participating in different projects that for them are like a last work for the degree, right, to get the degree. So for them is a way to do something that is useful for the society. It's not just a project end of degree just for themselves. It's a matter of that they can even think about to develop a business initiative around that. And also researcher groups, because there are several researcher groups working in the agricultural sector.
That's wonderful. So are there any differences in terms of approach between moving from the campus and the city to rural communities?
You mean if it's difficult to move the methodology?
Yeah, or maybe attract participants or stakeholders in the rural community compared to cities, or vice versa.
Well, it depends, because I mean, rural is a very, the urban labs, that is the city, and I would say laboratories in the urban areas. For the SMEs are attractive, but the best arena for new opportunities, new business opportunities are rural areas, because rural areas, they don't have much technology for controlling their crops and improve their efficiency. So all the solutions that you can provide is an opportunity indeed itself. So in rural areas is probably the best environment for testing new technologies, and they will appreciate that you can take care of them, because actually most of the people are moving away from rural areas. And if you are able to create a strong network of communications, and you can provide very good ways to help them to go to the rural areas for working and develop the business from there, because you have a very strong digital connections, you are changing the trend from going from rural to urban, from urban to rural, because you are increasing the quality of life in rural areas. But obviously you need a very strong digital communications in order to provide them internet and connections from wherever they can be, It's not easy, because you need to change a lot of mindsets, right? But this is why we try now to launch an initiative to involve all the actors of the rural innovation ecosystem in order to understand which are the most critical problems, and from them, once we will prioritize them, we can try to identify which are the ones that we can achieve from the science park. Indeed, my job here, I can do it even though I need to make some visits. I could do my job from a small village in the rural area, because if I am very well connected, most of my job is connected to internet. So this is something that for others could be interesting as well, and you have to provide a whole infrastructure, but this infrastructure of communication is the key in order to develop a strong rural innovation. Otherwise, it's very difficult to do that.
Wonderful, thank you.